So this next tool I'm going to make is a easy one to make, and it's useful especially when you're doing thinner, shorter pieces than the one I've got in here. But when you're lining a part up in a 3-jaw chuck or a 4-jaw chuck, you put your indicator on the side in one point and you get it lined up. That doesn't mean when you move down it'll be lined up, because you may pick a spot that's equidistant all the way around, but the part's canted like this. And one way you can do it is to have one indicator on the face, one on the side, or you can do it 2 points on the side that are far apart. I've exaggerated how far this part is out right now so that you can see. And as you can see, that it's way out of square. And there is a tool you can make that will help you get it square pretty easily, and that's what I'm going to do today. And it's an easy tool to make, and several other YouTubers have done excellent videos showing you how to make one. But since I needed one and I'm going to make one, I figured I'd show you as well, and maybe you haven't seen theirs. So hopefully this will be useful, and let's get started. So I cut the end off of a tool holder, an inexpensive tool holder I bought that actually has hardened steel for the shaft. This alignment tool, I just needed something to mount in the lathe tool holder that would hold the bearing, so I chose this. So I still need to square it off, because believe it or not, after the heat treat I think this thing moved because it's not very flat. So I'm going to flatten it on two sides, and I'm going to clean up this edge here. So my goal is to take a little material off the top and the bottom to square it up. About a total of 50 thousandths or so. It's not really critical, it's just for the tool holder. This is a 20mm tool, which means I have to use my extra large tool holder because it's a little bit over 3/4 of an inch. So I'll bring it down to something below that so it'll be easy to fit. And then I'm going to square up this end here and face cut it. I'm just going to flip this part over, deburr it, and do it again. So here we are on the second side, and I'm just going to take another 25 thousandths off roughly. The actual amount is not particularly critical. This is using my new camera stand modifications, so the vibration won't be affecting the picture, hopefully. So this is hardened steel, so I'm making some lovely little hardened steel needles on this guy. I'm engaging an awful lot of the cutter. In the past, if you want a good finish after you reach your final cut, if you just do a bunch of passes, it'll pick up the high spots. All right, I'm going to pop this out, deburr it, go on to the next step. So next, to do the slot, there's several ways I could do it. I could do it the traditional way where you just bite down a little bit, then cut your slot, then come back and do it again and repeat as necessary. What I was going to try is another way someone described doing it, and they used it mostly for aluminum, but I wanted to see how it worked for steel, where you basically just come down and use the end mill like a drill press, and you just take progressive cuts all the way through the material, but you don't take big bites each time. You go like 25, 50 thousandths forward. It puts a lot less lateral stress on a long cutter like this, so because most of it is axial, which is up the center, which is good. I'm going to try it for a few passes. If it doesn't work, I can always come back and modify my approach, but I just thought I'd try it. So let's give it a shot here. It's going to be a fair amount of squeaking. Because it's going to start engaging the sides of the cutter, but it seems to be working pretty well. These are pretty light cuts so far. Going pretty smoothly. The nice thing is the cutter's ejecting chips really well, so that's a good thing. Bring you back when I get closer. Okay, so now I need to widen this out a little bit. It's probably going to make quite a bit of noise because this is fairly thin right here. But we're going to take... Actually, I can bias to the other side. That'll be fine. It was... So... Start with 10 thousandths and see how that goes. A lot of stick out. So this looks like a normal drill bit, but it's not. It's actually a solid carbide 1/8 inch drill bit. So we got to take it slow, but this is hardened steel, so I didn't want to try a regular tool bit on it, because a regular drill bit, because it might easily get damaged. So we're going to try this, see how it works. Slow it down a little bit. Okay, so that's my pilot hole. And next I'm going to use the 1/4 inch milling cutter to cut the hole, because it'll make a very straight and square hole. And now that I've got a hole down the center, I don't have to worry about, you know, all the chips for center cutting, which is difficult for it to do plunge. So now with the end mill, and we're just going to go straight through. Done. It's a very nice clean hole. Alright, so I'm going to deburr these holes, and then we're going to try this out. So I took the part over to the grinder and just radiused this edge real quick. The bearing was offset to one side so that I could grab as close to the outside of a part as possible. So I'm going to get a pin for this and assemble it, and we'll give it a shot. So here's the finished tool before I mount it, and I offset the bearing to one side so that I can catch the outside edge in case there was some feature that would be in the way. But you also could flip this guy around and use it this way and have it on the inside. So it's kind of versatile. That's why I didn't center it. So I'm going to load this tool up in the tool holder, and let's see if we can straighten this guy out. So I've remounted this part I faced in an exaggerated manner so that it's completely out of square. So you can see here on the indicator it's almost 100 thousandths out of square. So to fix that, let me pop this guy off for a second, and I just take my lathe to the slowest setting. No need to go fast, and run the ball bearing in as it's running. And you notice it's making intermittent contact, continuous contact. So let's see how I'll lower that. There we go. So that should be about right. Now, I made that so far out, this chuck might have loosened it might have loosened itself on the part. Actually, that's not too bad. Let's try to just make sure one more time that it's when it's that far out, it was canted in the chuck, and it may not make continuous contact. But that actually looks pretty good. All right, so we run the ball bearing in to square up the part, and we throw our indicator on here on the outside edge to get the maximum amount out. So we went from 100 thousandths to about a thousandths. So that got it square within a thousandths in just no time flat. So my recommendation is, if you're going to be doing lots of big parts that have any stick out at all, this is a great tool to build. Takes no time at all, and very useful for squaring the part up. Thanks for watching. Hope you found it useful. Hope to see you next time.